Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today we got Wild of Eldraine leaks, and we got lots of them. So we're gonna try to go through it pretty quick. I'm not helping. We're also gonna go through some of the enchanted tales or whatever it's called from the enchantment sheet. There will be a little bit of smack talking due to a lot of things, which we'll hear about then. But all in all, I do like the entire printing of Wilds of Eldraine and the Enchanted Tales. I want to put that up front, but there's a lot of reasons why you can be upset about how they did it. So let's just go with that. Before we get started, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Do appreciate it. Helps keep the channel sponsor free. Let's roll them. So we start the Enchanted Tales with Oppression, 2 black and 1 reprint. Whenever a player casts a spell, you discard a card. This is a good card. Nice reprint. Haven't seen it in a while. I'm okay with this. Griffin Airy. It's an uncommon. You get a 2/2 as long as you gain 3 more life for the turn. This is also fine, although it is rather a newer card, but you got to fill those slots with something, so I'm good. Moving on. We have Garruk's Uprising. Again, hasn't been reprinted since its first printing. It's fine. When it comes into play, if you have a creature 4 or greater, you draw a card. If you play a creature 4 or greater, you draw a card. All your creatures have trample. Sees a little play in Commander. Not a bad card, so yeah, I'm good with this as well. It's uncommon. Grave Pact. All right, here's where I'm starting to struggle. So obviously, this card was just reprinted in Commander Masters for packs that are $12 to $15 or $50 for a collector pack, and now you can possibly get one in a $4 pack. This is the epitome of Wizard stupidity and the fact that they are blatantly now telling us they can just charge us whatever they want, and they're going to print everything into oblivion. So, got that off my chest. I'm going to try to calm down and move forward. All right, moving on. Next, we have Sneak Attack. Same thing here. However, I like the art. It's okay. I like the art because the guy's hairy. I don't ask why. I don't know. But yeah, so again, same kind of scenario here. Fire Emancipation. It's good reprint. Haven't had one in a while, so I'm okay with this as well. Like the art. Also, you have Defense of the Heart. Haven't seen reprint in a while. I like it. At Mythic, I have a stretch at Mythic because it was rare to begin with, I think. But also, again, this is back before there was Mythics. But I don't know. It's fine, I guess. Bitter Blossom. Haven't seen a reprint in a while. It's okay. It wasn't in Commander Masters, so I'm fine with that. I do like the art. It's kind of cool in its own little way. If you're in this kind of art, I could respect somebody playing this card in this kind of art style. So then we have Spreading Seas. This card hasn't had a reprint in a while, and I love this printing of it. I don't think it's very popular anymore. People don't play as much as they used to. But you need a good card for the uncommon slot. This is definitely one of them, and it has had an impact in the past in older formats. So I'm okay with it. And to be fair, this art is cool. Like whoever drew this, kudos to you, Lander. Land Tax. Here we go again. So another card just printed in $12 to $50 packs, now in a $4 pack. Makes me very unhappy. Not because they're reprinting it, but because they had the gall to charge us what they did in Commander Masters and then give us this card at the regular price pack. It's just poor business practice, in my personal opinion, and the best way to piss off everybody who plays this game. Copy enchantment. This is fine. Blue and 2 rare becomes a copy of whatever enchantment it is when it hits the battlefield. I love this art. This is really cool. So I like this card. It hasn't been printed in a while. So yeah, kudos for them guys on this one. Now, Blood Moon. As much as I want to bitch about this getting reprinted, it's seen so many printings it's not even funny. Still a great card, still worth a decent amount of money. They are driving it into the dirt, like this is the prime example. However, this art is hot. I love it. And to get this in foil, ooh, I think that's gonna be something. So I can't wait to see that, hopefully, when I open one. But yeah, good card. I like it. I ain't got a problem with it, really. It's fine. I still have my dark ones, though. Anyway, Polluted Bonds. This is a decent reprint. I don't think anybody even remembers this card. I mean, maybe some guys in Commander out there play this thing. But whatever. This is fine for the list. Even at rare, it's only going to be $1 probably. Kindred Discovery. This is a great reprint that we probably needed for a while. Also, this art is the bomb diggity. I'm really digging it. And I hope to see more of it. Did I just do a song lyric? Anyway, yeah, so this is fine. It wasn't in Commander Masters, at least I don't think. It's hard to tell anymore. So yeah. So now, moving on, we're going to get into the actual set with Rowan. So, Rowan, Scion of War, red, black, and 1 for a 4-2 with Menace. If you tap her, spells that you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This is fine, but what? I mean, the 4-2 with Menace for 3 is great. I don't think the second ability is going to come into too much play. But we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, Thoughtseize is a thing, but in Standard, I don't see this being a thing that gets used very much. So unless this can find a home in some older formats, I don't think Rowan's going to be cutting it. Next, we have good old Will, Scion of Peace, blue, white, and 1 for a 2-4 with Vigi. He taps also. Vigilance is definitely better than Menace when you have a tap ability. Spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you gain to this turn. Now this has got some possibilities. I mean, there's all kinds of white cards that let you draw cards and gain like 3 life for 2 mana. So like, I mean, you play that card for 2 mana, gain 3 life, you draw a card, and then you tap the Will Dog, and then everything else is 3 colorless less to cast for the rest of the turn. I mean, hello. Or if you're playing lifelink creatures, send the team in. And, well, my guys will die. Yeah, but now you're going to be casting like 5 and 6 mana spells for 2 the rest of the turn. Like, there's so much possibilities with this. I really think Will's on par to being a great card. And they really didn't do too hot with Rowan. But who knows? Like I said, off the top of my head, I can't think of a good way to use her. I very well could be wrong. It could be reversed. She could be broken. The Goose Mother, because that's why gooses have, 2, 4, 6, 7 heads. Anyway, blue, green, and X for a 2-2 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you put X +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, create half X food tokens, round it up. When it attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, draw a card. This feels like a fixed Hydra. I mean, it's the same casting cost. It kind of does the same thing, but you have to attack to draw a card. So yeah, what the hell is that Hydra called? I don't remember. Same casting cost. It flies, except when you cast it, you draw the cards and gain the life. This lets you put the counters on it, and then you get the food tokens, and you have to attack to draw a card. This seems a lot more balanced than the other one, and there's probably a reason for that. Bird Hydra. I don't know what to say. I guess the goose is loose. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Greta, Sweettooth Scourge. Green, black, and 1 for a 3-3. Enters the battlefield, you make a food token. For a green, if you sacrifice a food, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, only as a sorcery. Black and 1, sacrifice a food, draw a card, lose a life. This seems really good, especially as an uncommon. With food mattering again, this is going to be a great card, especially for Commander and other decks like that. And I do like the art. I like how she's killing a gummy worm. That's just fantastic. Moving on. All right, next we have Ruby Daring Tracker, because you can't call her Red Riding Hood. Anyway, green and red for a 1-2 with haste. When it attacks, if you control a creature power 4 or greater, she gets +2/+2 to end a turn, making her a 3/4 for 2, which is really good. Or she taps for red or green. Meaning, basically, after turn 1, she's an elf that's a 1-2 that could get bigger. That gives you mana back, because it's basically, oh my god, I mean, it's mana recovery cards. You pay 2 to delay it, and then if you have something else to cast that turn, this really costs 1 because this is going to give you another mana. I like this card a lot. I think it's going to be a great uncommon. The foils of this are going to be expensive, I think, and people are going to play a lot of this. It's going to be seen in a lot of decks, even maybe some older ones. Next we have Ash Party Crasher. Interesting name. White and red for a 2-2 with haste, has celebration. When it attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay, so if you make 2 permanents, that are non-land. And you swing with this, it gets a +1/+1. That seems really good for a red-white creature deck, kind of like mono, very similar to mono white, but maybe it's gonna be white red instead because it is also a human and a peasant. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a red. There's gonna be a red white / weenie style deck with this in it. We have Sharae of Numbing Depths. Blue, white, and 2 for a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Whenever you tap one or more untapped creatures your opponents control, whenever you tap one or more untapped creatures your opponent controls, draw a card. Only triggers once each turn. Wow, this is good. So you can draw a card by playing it for 4 mana and get a 2/3, which is fine. But then after that, if you tap your opponent's creatures, you draw more cards. And there's plenty of things that are instants that cause you to tap your opponent's creatures in white and in blue. I think this card is going to be a sleeper that a lot of people aren't going to see coming, and it's going to be very powerful. Next, we have Twisted Fealty. So, red and 2, sorcery, gain control of target creature, untap it, gains haste, punch him in the face. Until end of turn. You create a Wicked Roll token attached to that target creature. If you control another roll, it gets removed. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. When this ore is put into the graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. Wow, okay. That's really good. Better than your average steal effect. Why does Rowan look so different in this picture and the other one? Nothing against the artist. The drawings are fine. But little consistency wouldn't kill you. Anyway, moving on. Embarrass. It's a veteran. It's just a veteran. Anyway, 1 red for a 2/1. What could go wrong here? Sacrifice the veteran. Create a young hero roll token attached to another target creature. Whenever this creature attacks, if its toughness is 3 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Wow, is that good? Not only that, it doesn't tap to do it, so you can do it whenever you want to. This is going to see a lot of play in weenie decks, whether it be power red, red deck wins, whatever. Red white humans, red white weenie. I don't know. This seems really powerful. It gives the ability to put counters on your stuff and make it bigger when it's obviously small. And honestly, if you have a 2/1 and you put this on it, it will easily become a 5/4 by the time it's over if you're careful. Like this seems really powerful for uncommon. Root Rider Fawn, green and 1 for a 1/3. Basic common mana dork cap for green, but it also does mana filtering for 1. Not broken. I think this is fine. It is power creep only because he's got 2 abilities on 1 card, but nothing out of the ordinary. However, for green, it's more help than they probably need. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Return to the Wilds, a green and 2. You get to choose 2. Oh, hello. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. That's already fine. Make a 1/1 human creature token or create a food. So for 3 mana, you get to Rampant Growth and make a 1/1. That's what I'm hearing. Now, if you want to make a food instead because you got a food thing going, cool story, dude. But normally, more often than not, this is going to be Rampant Growth, make a 1/1. This is insanely good for a common. I don't care this is a sorcery. This is going to see all kinds of play. Next, we have Beanstalk Worm. I'm sure there's a double entendre there somewhere. Anyway, green and 4 for a 5/4 with reach. Now, it has the adventure ability to plant beans. Giggity. Green and 1, you may play an additional land this turn. Okay, so at least you don't draw a card, so fine. But this will help you ramp into this thing. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It looks to be really good for sealed and limited. But I still don't think it's good enough for standard or other formats just because it doesn't draw a card. But that's fine. This is fine. All right, Edgewall Inn. That's right, the Edgewall Innkeeper. We finally get to see what his house looks like. And homeboy be ballin'. I ain't lying. Look at this thing. This is hot. It enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a color. You tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color for 3, and tapping and sacrificing it. Return target card with an adventure from your graveyard to your hand. This is an amazing card. This is what every commander deck has been waiting for, and any adventure deck. And the art on this thing is amazing. Like, who drew this? Elena? Is that what it says? Kudos to him, her, they, whatever. This is spot on, amazing artwork, and I can not praise this enough. And it's really nice to see that we get a little continuity connection between the two sets with the Edgewall Innkeeper, even though we all hated that damn card. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Monstrous Rage. 1 red instant. Target creature gets +2/+0. Create a monster roll attached to it. Okay. Basically, it's a +3/1, and you get to keep a +1/+1 counter. So this is an insane combat trick. Might not save your creature, definitely will kill something, and do massive damage to your opponent if you want to pump your creature. This has lots and lots of opportunity in it. Like, I expect to see this more often. Next, we have a Farsight Ritual. 2 blue and 2 has Bargain. For those of you who don't know, when you cast, you can sacrifice a artifact, enchantment, or token. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. If this spell was Bargain, look at the top 8 of your library instead. Put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom library in random order. So this is pretty much a 4 mana draw 2 out of the butt ton of card, top half of your deck. And don't forget, guys, the artifact, enchantment, and token you sacrifice, the roll tokens that you make are tokens and they're enchantments. So, yeah, if you know you're going to put another roll token on something, you can cast something like this, sacrifice the old roll token, and then put a new one on it. Yeah, this is going to be a good card in Standard. After that, though, I'm not so sure. Blossoming Tortoise. Okay, I'll go with you on this. So 2 green and 2 for a Mythic 3/3. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Activated abilities of lands you control cost 1 less to activate. Land creatures you control get +1/+1. This is very interesting, and I kind of like it. It's going to be great for Commander with all the weird shenanigans it can do. I don't think it's going to be too good unless some other stuff comes out in Standard. But I just like this card. It seems balanced and does some interesting things without being overpowered. I like this as a Mythic. I really do. Not just because the art's kind of sweet and I like the way he's staring at me. Anyway, next we have Rat Out. So 1 black instant. Up to 1 target creature gets -1/-1 till their turn. You create a 1/1 black rat creature token. This is going to be amazing in all kinds of sealed formats. Not only because it can kill something, but it creates you a rat for 1. Like, it's a 2 for 1 in black, which you don't get very often. This card looks amazing. Next, we have Rat Catcher Trainee. Oh. It's a red and 1 for a 2/1. As long as it's your turn, it has first strike. Already good. But the adventure is for a red and 2, create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens they can't block. So this is even better in the late game because you can make 2 1/1s and then make a 2/1. However, probably not strong enough in the current environment with all the shenanigans we got going on, but definitely good and limited. And it is only a common, but still seems to be a good card. Warehouse Tabby. I like how it's got the rat. Anyway, it knows all the rats back there giving it the evil eye, and this cat's just not giving a damn. It's like, come at me, bro. Anyway, 1 black for a 1/1 cat. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 black rat creature token. Okay. Tabby gains Death Touch in your turn. This is a really good common. It has the ability to make creatures. It can gain Death Touch to block and kill 1 creature, like removal. It's cheap. Like, wow, this is going to be a very interesting sealed format. This is a powerful common. Sky Beast Tracker. All right, green and 3. I don't know why this is red. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. Common for a 1/1 with reach. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, create a food. Alright, I don't know what to think about this. I'm not sure this is a thing. And creating a food for 4 doesn't seem good enough to make this a thing. So we're just going to move on. Next we have Frolicking Familiar. A blue and 2 for a 2/2 flyer. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery, he gets +1/+1, which is always a thing that they do. We have 1 red Adventure instant. Blow off steam, deals 1 damage to any target. So this is going to see a lot of play in older formats. Just so people can do things like Zap Ragavan and then still have a 2/2 creature to make a threat with. Lots of good things here as an uncommon. I think the foil of this will probably be worth a little bit of money as well. More than normal. Yeah, great card. I think this is the I mean, sight unseen from the rest of the set. This is the what's it called? That fairy from the first set that's a 3/1 flyer that can bounce a permanent. I think this is that card of this set without even being rare. Like, this card seems really good. I like it. High hopes. Good old Evolving Wilds. We'll leave it at that. If you don't know what that is, you're on the wrong channel. Sweettooth Witch, black and 2 for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, make a food token. You sacrifice a food. You tap 2, sacrifice a food. Target player loses 2 life. So this is a fine common. I mean, 3/2 for 3 is just fine as a vanilla. If you sacrifice food, you can make people lose life instead of you gaining life. And that's fine as well, as long as it's not both, and it's not. So, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Cursed Creator. White and 2, 3/3. Lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, create a cursed roll token attached to it. Enchanted creature is a 1/1. Okay. But on the flip side, like, you play this on turn 3 and then use a blue card to remove the enchanted creature, or to remove the roll token, draw 2 cards, the top 8 of your deck. Now you have a 3/3 lifelinker. Like, there's some things that can make this good. Some. Anyway, moving on. Huntsman Redemption. 1 green and 2 for a saga. It is a rare. First one, you get a 3/3 beast token. That already makes it worth playing in almost any format, for the most part. You may sacrifice a creature on 2. If you do, search your library for a creature or a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. That's also really good. Considering you don't have to sacrifice your beast token, you can sacrifice an elf or something. And then up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 and gain trampled in a turn. Okay, not overpowering, but that's okay because it's still good. I like Chain Veil, Garrick. This is going to be a good card. Probably going to see standard play and limited play, definitely. Virtue of Knowledge. Blue and 4. Enchantment. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes an ability to trigger of a permanent you control, trigger that ability an additional time. Okay, we got another one of those. But it also has Vantress Visions. Blue and 1 instant. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets. This is going to be worth money. Like, in Commander, if not some of the older formats. Just for this second ability here, probably. Not so much of this one, but this is going to be a great Commander card. If you're in Commander, you don't think you should be playing this and you're playing blue, you're probably not playing a deck that has things that come into the battlefield and trigger. So, this is going to be a good card. And worth money. Restless Cottage. Could you say Baba Yaga? Anyway, land enters the battlefield tap, black and green. For black, green, and 2, this is the man land that becomes a 4/4 black-green horror creature token in a turn. Still land. Whenever it attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. This thing is amazing. I love this art too. I like how it's got candy canes for legs. And anyway, moving on. So we have Troublemaker Ophi. Oh, another Ophi. Green and 1 for a 2/2 has Bargain. When it enters the battlefield, if it was Bargain, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Not bad for a common. Not as good as the regular old brown Ophi, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Next we have, and again, don't forget, with oh god, just a little bit. There we go. Don't forget, you can use this with that white card, right? When you have a 1/1, you can literally play this, sacrifice a token to make it a 3/3 lifelinker, and then kill something of your opponents. Like, tons of cool shenanigans. Anyway, Break the Spell. This is sweet. If you haven't looked at the lore yet, this is a good part of the lore. 1 white instant, destroy target enchantment. If a permanent you control or a token was destroyed this way, draw a card. So again, for 3 mana, make a 3/3 lifelinker that becomes a 1/1. And then for 1 white, make it a 3/3 for real. So for 4 mana and 2 cards, you get to draw a card. I mean, no, it's not the coolest or sexiest thing, but it does do a thing. And also, too, this can help you kind of nerf your opponent's stuff if their stuff is boosting their other things. Anyway, but also, it says destroy target enchantment for 1 white. Like, hello. This is going to be great. And if you want to destroy something of your own, draw a card. So, yeah. I think there's a lot of possibility for this. I don't know why. I like the card because of the art probably. But anyway. Knight of Droves, white and 2 for a 1/3. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Again, more shenanigans with the previous card, and the other previous card is a 3/3. Yeah, and it's a little cheaper too, so we'll have to see if it actually gets a lot of play. Probably just limited, but might be a little something here. Besotted Knight, white and 3 for a 3/3 vanilla. However, the adventure on it is create a Royal Roll token attached to target creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Ward 1, which is cool. Again, notice how it says enchanted. So, yeah. Next here we have, wow, this is going long. Lich Knight's Conquest, black and 4 for a sorcery. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, enchantments, and or tokens. Return that many creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is busted. This could be a great card, especially in limited. Probably standard and some other shenanigans like Commander. Glass Casket reprint. I'm not saying that I wanted this card in the set, but if there was a card I wanted in this set that I didn't know I wanted in this set, it is definitely this, because this is so on flavor and a reprint from the first set that's okay. Like, this is just a win all around. So anyway, moving on. Psy Ginger, the Meal Ender. So we finally get her 2 colorless for a 3/1. When she enters, she has Trample, Hexproof, and Haste as long as an opponent controls a Planeswalker. For whatever reason. Probably because Garuk ate her boyfriend. Anyway, whenever another artifact you control is put into the graveyard from play, put a +1/+1 counter on her and scry 1. And obviously you can sacrifice her and you gain life equal to her power because clearly she's a cookie. Anyway, great card. I like it. Moving on. Gallant Pie Wielder, whatever that means. White and 2 for a 2/3 the first strike. Not bad. Has Celebration, which means it has double strike as long as 2 more permanents into the battlefield. Limited at best. Other than that, probably nothing going on here. Tyran, Gutsy Explorer. Blue, green, and 1 for a 1/3. Tap, add a blue and a green. Spend only to cast mana value 5 or greater. Or X spells. A blue and tap, draw a card and discard. This seems really good for Commander. If you're playing blue-green, this probably should be in your deck. Because also, notice it doesn't say creature. It says a spell value 5 or greater. So, yeah. This is just mana ramp on a whole nother level. And filtering, like, this is a card. Rowan's Grim Search, black and 2 instant, has Bargain. If the spell was Bargain, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put up to 2 of them on top of your library and you order the rest in the graveyard. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. It's your basic draw spell. And get this about everything. It's like Read the Bones. Next we have Faunsbane Troll. Okay. Green, black, and 2 for a 4/4. Good rate. When it enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to it. It gets +1/+1 on trample. So 4 mana, 5/5 trampler. Seems good. Sacrifice an aura attached to it. It fights another target creature that you don't control. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Activate only as a sorcery. This is a really good rare card. And I cannot tell you how often this thing's going to get played in several decks. For several reasons. For 1, 4 mana, 5/5. For 2, it has the ability to disenchant things. Like, this is all around a good card. Next we have Johann, Apprentice Sorcerer. Johann. Anyway. If he's an apprentice, why is he legendary? Moving on. Red and blue and 2 for a 2/5. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library. You still play the cost, and timing rules still apply. Glad they put that on there. That makes this less broken. Still a good card. It feels like a win more card, not a help win card. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure Commander is going to be great, but it is okay. I like it. Living Lectern. Blue and 1 for an 0/4. Construct, creature, sacrifice a Living Lectern, draw a card, create a sorcery roll token attached to up to 1 other target creature you control. It's only at sorcery speed, but the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. That's almost worth just playing it and then sacking it. Because it replaces itself. For 3 mana, you get to draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on something, and then scry when it attacks. For 3 mana, that's fine. Like, I am down with that. So, especially in blue. Like, yeah, lots of possibilities here. Conceited Witch, we have a black and 2. God, I love that art. That is amazing. 2/3 Menace, that's fine. But it has Price of Beauty, which for 1 black, create a Wicked Roll token attached to a target creature you control. I'm assuming it's just a token, but maybe it gives +1+. Maybe all tokens give +1/+1. We'll have to wait and see. This is fine for limited. I don't see it doing anything past that. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. Black, white, and 2 for a 2/2 Menace. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it's not completely busted. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, play +1/+1 counter on Neva, then scry 1. With the roll tokens being enchantments, this could get really out of hand. I like this card. This could be the birth of a new style of enchantment deck that's not green, to be honest. All right, moving on. Next we have Totentanz, a Swarm Piper. It's the Pipe Piper. Anyway, red, black, and 1 for a 2/3. Legendary Warlock Bard. Okay. Whenever him or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 black creature token. Rat, obviously. Can't block. A black and 1, target attacking rat you control gains death touch to end a turn. This is fine. I mean, it's pretty cool. It lets you get damage in and hold mana up, make the opponent not block or whatever. So, very narrow since it's only attacking, so probably only limited by the best you can get out of this, I would think. So, moving on, next we have Siram Aramont, the Redeemer. White, green, and 3 for a 4/4. The Redeemer enters the battlefield. Create a monster roll token attached to another target creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. Enchanted creatures you control get +1/+1. So for 5 mana, you get to make a 4/4 and then give something else +2/+2 and trample basically permanently. This seems like a really good uncommon for limited. Probably won't see a whole lot of play in standard unless this enchantment theme thing really takes off. If it's in white-green, this could get really good because this is a good card. Next we have Orbaria, Dreaming Duelist, black, blue, 2/2 flyer with flash. Already good. That's already good. Whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. That's a big bonus. This is going to be a sweet card, which is going to see lots of play in fairy decks. And blue-black fairies is already a thing in some formats. Like, I think the foil of this is probably easily going to be $1 or $2, just because of what it does. This is a really cool card. Art's nice too. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Get it? Legend. Anyway, Kellen, the Fey-Blooded, hero of the story. Red and 2, you get a 2/2 double striker. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen. Holy cow. He is the man. He has the adventure, white and 1. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle. Sweet mother of God. Kellen is broken. Now, with all that said, he's a good card. He is going to be played. Now, before we go any further, the one thing I want to say is he is probably one of the few cards or creatures or guys with a background I have high hopes to do great things in Magic lore. I like him, much like I liked Jace for a while, until they wussified Jace. You don't have to use a W in the front if you don't want, but anyway, and kind of just made them useless. I like Kellen. I like his backstory and all of it. Like, I really want him to be something cool in the multiverse, and I want him to be a Planeswalker. Something so fierce. Before Will and Rowan ever become Planeswalkers again, because their Planeswalkers always sucked. This guy, I think he's got possibilities. I'm really looking forward to what they do with him. Hopefully they don't screw it up. So they probably will. But anyway, Elvish Archivist. Green and 1 for a 0/1. Okay, let's see what it does before we flip out. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Only triggers once each turn. Okay, that's better. Still not great. Whenever one or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Triggers once each turn. Okay, just got better. This is now playable. The ability to do this, or have this on the field, and then play something with a roll token that's going to make an enchantment, and this thing draws you a card Like that's just incredible. This is going to be something in Standard that's going to be part of a deck that I think we're going to see that's very powerful. Mark my words. Not to mention, it's green, so it goes in the green-white enchantments deck, so there you go. More stuff for Commander. Next we have Hylda, the Icy Crown. One of the witches. It says Warlock. They call them anyway, we won't go into details. Whatever. Blue, white, and 2 for this 3/4. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, you may pay 1 colorless. When you do, choose one. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token. Oh, sweet Jesus. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. It's okay. Scry 2, then draw a card. Hello. So this is the new face of control. We've seen the other card that lets you do the same thing when you tap an opponent's creature. This one lets you pay an extra one. So, like if you have 1 blue that taps an opponent's creature and you have this and the other thing out that lets you draw a card, you literally, for a blue and 1 on your opponent's turn, on their upkeep, before they go, you can say, hey, on your upkeep, I want to tap down your creature, and I'm going to pay the extra, and I'm going to draw 2 cards from my 1 card, and now your creature's tapped, and you can't swing at me. This is going to be a thing. Yeah, it's going to be very aggravating if it is a thing. I want it to be a thing, but as I think about it, I don't want it to be a thing. I'm so confused. Anyway, moving on. The next witch we have, or Warlock, whatever, is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. Green and red. She should have been black. She was eating people. Anyway, green and red for a 1/1 legendary creature. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can't reduce the main mana cost to less than 1 mana. For 2 green, red, and 4 other creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trampled in a turn. I mean, it's fine. It's permanent creature cost reduction. It'll probably see play in some way, shape, or form in a green-red monsters deck. I mean, it does have a secondary ability to seek mana into, so it's not terrible. It's going to see play of some kind. The final witch, Warlock, whatever. Arete of the Charmed Apple. I love the art and how she's drawn. This is just so hot. And when I say hot, yes, she looks good, but I mean, like, look at the clothing and with the flowers and the style, how it's drawn. Very, very storytelling, very mythic, and very in the genre of medieval that I like. This is hitting on all levels for me as far as artwork goes. This could have been a dude, and I wouldn't even care. I'd still be like, holy cow, this is hot. Anyway, black, white, and 1 for 2/4. That's good rate. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. That's very powerful. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life, where X is the number of auras you control. Oh my god! We may be seeing the birth of a new auras deck that is white-black and not white-green. This may be the new thing, because this is so powerful. And because you gain life too, like you could have 6 auras, 7 auras on the table, pacifism, casket, whatever. I know casket's an artifact, I think, but point being, if you have 6 or 7 enchantments on the field, and they're not technically stopping your opponent, maybe they are, and you lay this at the end step, you're going to gain 7 life and shoot your opponent for 7 for 3 mana. That is so powerful. White-black auras is going to be the new thing in this set, and it's going to be interesting to see it come to fruition. Just putting it out there. So, with that said, that's all we got for today. I know more cards may get spoiled, but there's already so many. The video is almost 40 minutes. Woo boy, they're doing these dumps in big chunks. Much like our dads. Anyway, that was weird. Won't go there again. Thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned for more stuff. Check out the links in the description. I'm on eBay, TCG Player for cards. I'm doing some Twitch streaming every now and then if you really want to hear me rant, since I can't really cuss on here, per se. But yeah, so until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table. Hopefully telling the story of the wilds of Eldraine. I'm so excited for this set. So excited.